What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Goblin's Den. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, I have some news I wanted to discuss, a couple things I wanted to get off my chest there, and a few things I wanted to show for a friend of mine. But, unfortunately, I'm going to be changing my name again. I know. So this is the last episode of the Goblin's Den. I got a notice from, I can't remember if it was from actually from YouTube, or it was from somebody who is in YouTube. Well, I guess the thing that's the problem. Everyone knows my original show was called Cracka, Cracka, and it was abbreviated, which is comics, reviews, also movies, comedy, anything else that kicks ass. But people never really, people loved it. They loved the show. All my subscribers, I know you guys loved it, but a lot of people just didn't get it. They're like, you don't do any of this, you don't do any of that, and the real point of the show was to have certain things in there, but I just never got around to doing them, and my show never really went the way I wanted it to go. I was still happy with it. That's not the problem. It just never really did what I wanted to do, so I wanted to change the name and just kind of get into basic stuff, I guess. And I chose the Goblin's Den after a long, painful thought. Hurts. And it was doing alright. People enjoyed it, making some videos. Finally got caught up putting them out. And I got a notice saying you cannot use the Goblin's Den name anymore because there's already a person. Their thing is the Goblin's Den, and apparently it's a question and answer show, which is a little weird. That's all it seems to be about. But, apparently I sent the thing back saying I'm going to make one more episode and then I'll cancel the whole thing and, well, not get rid of it, but they're letting me keep it because technically my channel name is Loki Goblin 13, which is the name here. So, but the fact that I guess I'm copywriting them, I don't know how the hell it goes. So, I thought hard. Again, it hurt. I was in the cave, which was, like I said, when I came up with the name of the Goblin's Den, which is Gimpy 204 had mentioned, you should call it that, and I was kind of thinking of that anyway, so great minds. I was sitting there, I'm like, what can I call it that would revolve around what I like, the great villain that I like, and would make more sense, well, not make more sense, but, be in the same thing, we're not having to go too crazy. So, the new show, again, we're going to start season 1 again. I'm sorry, but I figured it's just easier to do it that way. I'm going to be calling the new show The Goblin's Vault. Yeah, let's see how they take that. Probably already is a channel with that, but we're going to find out. I added so much stuff to the vault upstairs that I'm going to do the episode 1 of that. We'll show you all the new things that are up there. So I hope you will tune in for that. And I'm sorry, I know it's just nuts, it's getting confusing. Probably should just go back to Cracka, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, hairball. Sorry. There was that. Another thing I wanted to throw out there, Gizmo, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but Gizmo wanted me to let everyone know that he's very thankful for those who mentioned his birthday and said happy birthday to Gizmo because he's a year old. Unfortunately, Gizmo will not be on camera for a little while. He wanted to be on camera before, but he's actually really sick lately. He's been really sick. We had to take him to the vet for his checkup anyway, so it was kind of like we had to do it anyway, but we were taking him anyway because he can't seem to keep his food down. He's been yakking it up like almost every day now. We had to take him to the vet. The vet gave him a good look over, and they said that she thinks he might have some kind of a virus, some kind of, cat virus or something, I don't know, stomach cat virus, I don't know. So she gave him all this medication stuff that he's been taking, and we're trying to keep him calm. That's what the vet said, don't rile him up, don't get him running around, keep him calm, and she almost basically said just kind of ignore him, just kind of let him go about his business and don't play with him. You got to keep him relaxed. And we bought him a new perch that he's enjoying upstairs. It's really high, so he can look down out the window and see everything. And we got him a new blanket, so he's actually wrapped up in the new blanket, sleeping on his perch. But he will make an appearance on the line once he's feeling better. But he wanted me to mention that to all the people that sent him comments saying happy birthday, he wants me to let you know that when his people come to take over the world, your names will be on the sacred scrolls that will be saved. So, lucky you. Moving on to the Midtown saga. It continues. Sorry, let me just turn this thing off. Don't want to get any crazy calls. Anyway, but first, before I get into the Midtown saga, I want to thank Captain Strangelife. Everyone knows he is the man. Hans, you are the man. I'm finally catching up on your videos. It's been, I have so many videos I'm trying to catch up on, and I apologize, but I'm working on it. But he had mentioned in a comment that he is not going to be buying from Midtown anymore, which is amazing. Thank you. That's really nice of you to do. But I want to throw this out there before I get into the whole my saga, what's going on lately. Hans, I do appreciate it. I do. You have no idea. It's above and beyond. And I don't want this to make anyone think I'm ungrateful for what they're doing. So please, for the love of God, don't take this the wrong way. If you're ordering from Midtown and you've never had a problem and you enjoy Midtown, don't give them up for me. I appreciate it. I really, really do. But I just don't want people to get unhappy and you know, I mean, it is really cool and really nice everyone, you know, coming together and saying, hey, they screwed you. We're not going to buy from them anymore. And hopefully it might send them a message. It might not, because they're like $1 million company now. Who knows? But I really do appreciate it. But I don't want you to give up your stuff and your comics. Well, I know he's not giving up his comics. But if you really do like them and you want to stick with them, stick with them. You know, it just seems, I keep thinking that it seems to be only me that has the shitty luck with Midtown that's having problems. But I finally found out that's not 100% true. Then I'll tell you what happened with Midtown anyway. A friend of mine that sent me the packages, which I'm actually making this video for as well, because I want to show him something, because he asked me about it. We'll get into that later. I talked to him on Memorial Day, and he was telling me, like, you know, he stopped going to Midtown, and he actually used to spend a lot of money there. His friend stopped going, and one of his friend's friend, so a friend of a friend, whatever, it's going to get confusing. He was talking to him, and he was still a huge Midtown person, would always get, he moved to, I want to say Texas, because I really don't remember what he said, but it could be Texas. And he's been ordering from Midtown, you know, since he moved, and he's been having the same problems. You know, one book will come completely damaged, and they won't do anything about it because you got to send it back, and they won't do this, and they won't do that, and you know, he's like, then they lose the book goes to the wrong address, and he's like, I've been living in Texas, he goes, for 5 years now, and they can't seem to get my address right. And he's like, and you know, they don't seem to give a I don't want to curse too much, but they don't seem to care when you don't live in New York, and they don't think you're going to come get them or something like that, you know, bitch. So, I'm not the only one. So it's not entirely my luck. Now, the saga, like I said, continues, and I'm trying not to mention them anymore, because like I said, they're dead to me. I don't want to be bothered with them anymore. Once this crap gets sorted out, I am done. I don't want to ever talk about them again. Basically, I had mentioned that I canceled all my variants that I ordered from them. I canceled all my pre-orders, all that stuff. I told them I don't want it anymore. I want my refund, because a lot of them I had paid all the stuff in advance, just didn't pay for the shipping, because you know how they do that if you go to order from Midtown. And this was almost a little more than a month ago. I had canceled a lot of stuff that came out already. I had contacted them this morning. That's what I'm saying. It continues. Today is the 27th, Tuesday of May. I said, you know what, I really want to know what's going on, because you guys never reimbursed me my money. I never got a refund. It's been, you know, past a month. I want to know where my money is. The guy basically sends me a thing saying that we're not done processing your returns. When the returns are all finished, all of them are completely finished processing, we'll refund you your money. I swear, I'm losing my voice, I think I'm getting sick, but I swear, if by June 1st I don't have my money back, I'm going to flip out. I'm either going to drive or fly down there and give them a real piece of my mind. But I'm at the point where I'm actually going to get legal stuff involved and get a lawyer and be like, you guys, you know, are just stealing my money. They basically owe me almost a little more than $100, maybe 110, something like that. I got to really look at it. So, I mean, that might not seem like a lot of money to most people, but it's a lot of money to me. And you guys are going to rip me off for all this and everything else you've done? No. I will go down there and break some kneecaps. But we'll see. But anyway, like I said, main point of this video, besides all that stuff, and again, thank you, Hans, for that. I appreciate what you're doing. That's very, very nice of you. It really is. I wanted to show some books, because my friend, which I will not mention his name because he asked me not to. He said he can mention everything but his name, because I don't know if he said he feels embarrassed or whatever. But it's for you. And thanks for those packages. That was cool. He had mentioned he wants to expand his Spider-Man collection, and he wanted to know if there are any other Spider-Man books out there besides the standard, like Web, you know, Spectacular, Amazing. You know, what were other books that, you know, were out there? Now, he didn't mention if you want to know what other books are out there that were good, or just what were the other books out there in general. Let me tell you, there are a lot of Spider-Man, and I'm going to show you just a few of the ones I have. Didn't even pull them all because there's just so many of them. I noticed on my comic shop, or Lone Star Comics, whatever you want to call them, they actually have a giant-sized Spider-Man coming out now, which they had back in the day. I guess they're trying to, once again, show that they're all about making money. You know, how many friggin' books can we pump out in a month and make billions of dollars off of? I know, let's retell everything and make number ones again. Marvel, you suck lately. You suck. You're pissing me off. Sorry. Almost had like an exorcism I had to have. You're like, oh, let it go. Woosah. But anyway, I can't remember who mentioned the comment. I've been reading so many, and I'm sorry, but you mentioned a comment, and you know who you are, that DC, even though their prices aren't going up too much, like $2.99, $3.99, they kind of stick there, their quality is better. And it's totally true. Like Marvel, I've been a Marvel fan since the early 80s, like, 86, 87 is when I really started getting into comics when I was a kid. And, I was all about Marvel. Always. I didn't become a DC fan until like 2002, 2003, give or take. And I'm going to have a sip of my Coca-Cola. Voice is starting to go, sorry. But, I didn't really become a DC fan until then. Like, I bought books here and there from DC. I knew who they were, I knew who Superman was, I knew who Batman was. I never became a huge fan and started really collecting until then. I know I'm off subject with Spider-Man, we'll get back to that. But, it's true, like, the quality of DC's books, especially with the New 52, have gotten so much better over Marvel. Like, Marvel, they're just pumping shit out, like, left and right. It's like, how many number ones can we throw out this month? I know, let's kill Wolverine off and bring him back with a couple of sets of number ones. Or bring Spider-Man back with a whole lot of sets of number ones. I know, let's have the Incredible Hulk come out, and then a month later we're going to relaunch it again with another number one. Whereas DC's kind of sticking to it. They made the New 52, which people were pissed off about originally. At the start, like, oh my god, they're doing, but it's working. So, congrats, DC, you're kicking Marvel's ass in certain spots. Anyway, moving on. Gotta stay on track. Showing some books that hopefully people will get a kick out of and maybe didn't know existed, and maybe they'll want to go pick them up. Who knows? We all know about this. Has already been out. This is the Superior Foes of Spider-Man. So everyone knows, a lot of people already picked them up, which I only think I got one issue. Which it was good. It was. But what people don't know is they had other issues before that. They had the original one, which is in 91, which was the Deadly Foes of Spider-Man, which was a 4-part miniseries, which was actually really good. I actually enjoyed these. I think I'm missing number 3 or number 4. I can't remember. I gotta look at it. But they were really good. Then they had the Lethal Foes of Spider-Man, which was, this one's a better series. Go for this over that, believe me. But there's those. Because everyone's like, oh, they put this out, and, there's other ones before, believe me. Marvel, basically everything they do now is a repeat of everything else that already came around. Then, of course, in the late 90s, they had, well, not late 90s, I guess middle 90s, The Untold Tales of Spider-Man, which was kind of, And then this was the best. These were the fun ones. Because this is another way from Marvel. It just shows even back then they were trying to get your money. Which I guess some of them weren't that bad because it makes a little more sense for people who couldn't afford to get the actual issues. Almost like Marvel Tales, where they had like, if you couldn't get the first appearance of Scorpion, they had the Marvel Tales issue, which was the same story, but just not the price tag. Which is cool. I actually have no problem with that. I know people think I have a problem with variants too, but I don't. There's just too many. There's just too many of them. Let me tell you about that real fast before I get into this. Variants, like I said, this is my final thing on variants. I'm not entirely against them because I know you don't have to buy them. I just think there's too many of them, and I think they really should reserve variants for special occasions. Like when they throw a number 1 issue out there, put as many variants as you want. Cool. You make it to 25, do another set of variants. You hit it 50, okay. A character is first introduced, go with the variants. Character dies, put the variants in there. A new team, variants, go ahead. But make a better impact, and it's like, oh, here's the number 2 issue of Amazing Spider-Man. We have 30 variants. Here's number 4. We have 30 variants. Here's number 5. 30 variants. That's just me. I just think they're just wasting it all on each issue rather than doing it something big. Like back in the day, they had variants, but they waited. They did it on certain things. Anyway, they had Spider-Man Chapter 1, which is basically the retelling of all the Spider-Man stuff. This is basically Amazing Fantasy 15. And then, of course, it went on to Amazing Spider-Man number 1 and so on. But that's basically what this is. The retelling of all the stories. Then they had, which was an interesting take, Web Spinners, Tales of Spider-Man, #1, which was a long series as well. And basically what this is the exact same thing as that, but it's Spider-Man who's telling you the story. Not a writer, or, well, obviously it's a writer, I know, but the point of it is it's supposed to be from Spider-Man's point of view. Like, he's like, oh, I remember when I first fought the Chameleon, and this is what happened, and then he would tell you all about it. So there's that. Then, of course, like I said, now they have all the 1.1s, which Hippie, I know you've been looking. I couldn't find out how many there were. I had to try to, maybe I'm going to go through the Marvel database and try to go through it. But these 1.1s are killers, because you don't know when they pop up. Like I told Hippie's Collectibles that I know the later Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2s had them, the 699.1 and 700.1, and but I know there were ones before. I think I had like number 649 had a .1. I got to go through it. But there's those. As most people know about, but most people don't know there was a lot of them. Then we have, from back in the 80s, they have the Amazing Spider-Man Index, which is basically the Marvel Universe Handbook, but only with Spider-Man stuff. Then we had, back in the 90s, the Spider-Man Saga, which was basically the history of Spider-Man. They would show when Venom's suit came around and when he got married to Mary Jane. And it's basically the Index, except with, a lot more pictures and just more about the storylines than anything else, rather than facts. Like, oh, Spider-Man is 6'1" and he's got this. It's basically, oh, the alien symbiote, and this is what happened. Then, of course, they had Marvel Knights, Spider-Man. And this stuff was crazy. The Amazing Spider-Man Family, which is a really thick book, and they had a lot of these. Then, of course, in the early 90s, they had Spider-Man Unlimited, which was the kickoff of Maximum Carnage, which was a damn good storyline. There was those. Then, of course, we had the team-ups, or the fight books. Spider-Man and Batman team-up. This one's in Mylar. I gotta re-Mylar it, though, because it's too big. Mylar! That one's for you, Hippie. And, of course, they had, which I have two different versions of these, Spider-Man vs. Wolverine #1. This is the comic. I actually have the trade paperback. But a lot of people don't even know that this is actually the death of Ned Leeds, the Hobgoblin, is in this issue. So if you want the death of the Hobgoblin, you gotta pick this up. And then, of course, we had the tie-ins, basically. Well, sort of. Let's say promotional stuff more than anything else. We had the drug issue, Skating on Thin Ice, with the McFarlane cover. And then we had a promo issue from the 70s where it was promoting AIM toothpaste. The Goblin has taken my dental tool. So that's that. That is all for my friend. Those are the ones, just some of the ones I grabbed. There are others. There was the Mutant Agenda. There was Spider-Man and the Human Torch. There was, what was it? There's a lot of different ones. There really is. Maybe I'll show them all. Who knows down the line. But those are the ones I just grabbed off the one box I had. But there's a lot. There's Spider-Girl. There's Amazing Fantasy. There was the new Amazing Fantasy. All that stuff. So, best thing you can do. It's kind of difficult because if you type in Spider-Man on Google or whatever it is, it comes up with a lot of shit. Sorry, but Marvel database usually helps. If you want to see how many different things there are. But even I don't even know how many different Spider-Man stuff there was, because it's Spider-Man. It's like Batman and Superman. Like, things are everywhere. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know I had a little bit of rants, but I showed some cool stuff. Hopefully you liked it, and hopefully you'll come back for the new show. Sorry, I have to relaunch again. I feel like Marvel, relaunching my stuff over and over again. But I don't want YouTube up my ass with, strikes or all that other crap. So I told them this was the last episode of it, and I'm changing the name, and they agreed. So there we go. Thank you all for watching. You know that I appreciate it. If you want, you can like or dislike, whatever you want to do. Throw those comments up. Love reading the comments. It makes my day. They're fun. I try to get to them as much as I can. Again, if I have missed anyone's comments, let me know. Send me a message or something, because, like I said, I had problems with YouTube with that stuff lately. I don't always see the comments, and it keeps claiming I'm signed out when I'm not. It's all a big mess. But if you really like this show and you really want to watch it all the time, then you can subscribe. That's very cool. I want to thank all my subscribers. I will do a shout-out video down the line. Just to thank everybody again. And Captain Strangelove, again, thank you very much for the whole Midtown thing. And yeah, it's not the size of your cave that matters. It's what you have in it. And if you want, come back for the Goblins Vault. Let's hope no one has that name, which they probably do. We'll find out. Maybe I'll have to change it again. Anyway, later, everyone.